Time of year again, where we all try and predict the Premier League season. And yeah, lots of storylines going into it. Still 3 weeks left of the transfer window, of course. Will Man City land a fourth in a row? Will Tottenham cope without Kane? What will Maurizio Pochettino do at Chelsea? So yeah, lots going into it. But let's start by looking at every single team's prospects for this season. Starting off with Arsenal, Rice, Timber and Havertz, fantastic additions to the squad. And the Gunners overachieved massively last season, leading the title for 248 days, but they couldn't quite sustain it. And yeah, you kind of do feel that maybe is their best chance for the title gone, but you never know. I think they still should be aiming for a solid Champions League finish this year. Moving on then to Aston Villa and European football back at Villa Park this year, and Omar Emery has brought well, adding Diaby, Torres and Tielemans to his squad. They're not going to win the title, but they could well rattle the lower end of the top six, especially with the likes of Harry Kane leaving. And yeah, I think they'll definitely be targeting European football again this season. For Bournemouth, Alex Scott, one of the most coveted young players outside of the Prem, a great signing, but not sure what to expect from a new coach Areola. If he does a better job than Gary O'Neill, he must be a genius. But yeah, can't help but feel that was a very strange decision, but it could go either way, you really do feel like. And yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. But moving on into Brentford, the Bees beat Man City at home and away last season, so they are a force to be reckoned with. I love watching Thomas Frank's team play, but yeah, Ivan Toney's suspension, you feel like could be a really big loss, at least in the first half of the season, potentially carrying on to the second half of the season as well as he works his way back up to full fitness. But yeah, we'll have to see. For Brighton though, they've lost Alexis McAllister and Moises Caicedo looks to be on his way to Brighton's recruitment model is built with cope with setback, and fans will relish European football. Another enjoyable season could well be heading to the Amex, and yeah, we can't wait to see them find what wonder kid pops up next. For Burnley, manager Vincent Kompany will not let the grass grow under his feet at Turf Moor. The Clarets could not have asked for a tougher start to the season facing the treble winners, but Burnley will cope comfortably back in the top flight, I think, given how impressive they were in the second tier last term. For Chelsea, no European football at the Bridge this season, but that will give new boss Mopo more time on a training ground to galvanise the squad. Last season was a car crash, and Christian Nkunku's injury is a setback. But yeah, I think Maurizio Pochettino's men, with the quality manager he is, after a tough season last year, could be on for a top four finish this term. Moving on into Crystal Palace, Wilfred Zaha, so long the talisman at Selhurst Park has gone, and the fans are worried that Michael Olise could be next. Roy Hodgson is going to need all of his experience to keep relegation at arm's length this year, because yeah, it's looking like it could be a tough season for Palace, and maybe this could be the year they finally get relegated. For Everton, business as usual. They're not going to have score enough goals to feel safe. Everton have had a poor old transfer window so far, and Sean Dyche, who led Burnley to Everton to the Premier League third surgeon, will need to delve into his magician top hat again to have a chance at staying up, because yeah, it's been far too close in recent years for Everton. For Fulham, if Alexander Mitrovic stays at Craven Cottage this term, no problem. All Fulham's enterprise leads the Serbian centre forward, but if he follows the exodus towards Saudi Arabia, it will not be plain sailing for Marco Silva. And yeah, maybe despite a great season last year, could even end up getting sucked into a bit of a relegation battle. For Liverpool to lose Jordan Henderson, James Milner and Fabinho in one window is a lot of experience, but exciting is Jurgen Klopp's midfield rebuild, but at the same time you do feel like it may need room to grow, so yeah, that maybe could hold them back a bit in the opening months, but maybe they'll click towards the end of the season. For Luton, home form will be key if they're to have any chance of staying up, and Rob Blackley is a good signing among 9 recruits. Whatever happens, even if it's going to get heavy, they must stand by manager Rob Edwards, given the incredible job he's done so far. But yeah, still, I'm really excited to see what Luton can do in the Premier League. For Man City, after the treble comes 4 in a row, and yeah, I can't see anyone stopping City for a long, long time. Yes, they've lost the likes of Gundogan and Mahrez, but Guardiola brought in a world-class centre-back, and Gabriel is another fantastic buy. 2 predictions for this year: Haaland will win the Golden Boot, and Grealish could well be Player of the Year. For their Manchester rivals, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Rasmus Højlund to come up with the goals which justify Ten Hag's £72 million punt on the Danish striker. A new keeper, Onana, has a tough act to follow in David De Gea, who won the Golden Glove last season, but United will build on their first trophy on 6 years and could really cement their UCL spot. For Newcastle, Eddie Howe, can he harness the momentum that got them into Champions League last year? I'm not so sure, to be brutally honest. They have enough strength and depth to sustain another top 4 push with the demands of European football, and of course raise expectations on Tyneside, but you never know, a few new signings could really benefit them. For Nottingham Forest, they bucked a trend with Steve Cooper, and after a rocky start, got their rewards, and good for them. An exciting front four of Morgan Gibbs-White, Brendan Johnson, Nancy Alanga, and Taiwo Awinai will have the City ground rocking again. And I can see them finishing more comfortably in the middle of the table this year. For Sheffield United, don't expect the football to be as expansive as they were last time in the Premier League under Chris Wilder, but Paul Heckingbottom is a canny operator. Losing Sander Berge this week was a setback, and ultimately I feel a lack of quality could well hurt the Blades. And I fear for them this year, at least as things stand. For Tottenham, how on earth are they going to replace Harry Kane's 280 goals? With him on board, you probably give them a shout finishing in the top 6, but new manager Ange Postecoglou, worst nightmare, will be drifting into mid-table in his era of the North London club. And that's kind of where you fear without Kane they could well be heading. For West Ham, slower out of the blocks to replace the void left by Declan Rice, and now they could lose Lucas Paqueta, although Edson Alvarez has signed, and fingers crossed Harry Maguire and James Ward-Prowse, 2 Premier League captains last season, are also on the way, which could give them hope and maybe push them up towards more of a mid-table finish this year. For Wolves, it shouldn't come as a surprise, but I fear for Wolves this year, Ruben Neves and Raul Jimenez have been sold without being replaced. Julian Lopetegui has walked. A new boss, Gary New, who did a fantastic job at Bournemouth, has another big rescue job on his hands, you fear, because at the moment it's looking a bit dodgy. But anyway guys, that's it for you. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe to Daily Football News, and subscribe for channel, greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.